This abandoned mining infrastructure points to a stark reality for Europe. Its traditional underground mines are tapped out, and the blast furnaces sit empty. To power the transition to green energy and advanced technology, the continent desperately needs critical metals, but it has almost no natural deposits left. The solution requires looking above the surface. Over the last 2 centuries of rapid industrialization, Europe has stockpiled a massive reserve of resources right inside its own borders. This mountain of discarded electronic equipment represents just a fraction of the 2.3 billion tons of waste Europe generates every single year. This volume includes hundreds of millions of tons of steel, copper, and plastic, along with discarded electronics containing 17 different specialized metals. Instead of treating this debris as an environmental liability, extracting its value offers a strategic advantage. It forms the bedrock of what economists call the urban mine. This intense industrial furnace operates inside Umicore's Hoboken plant in Belgium, providing physical proof of how this new economy functions. Every year, this single facility swallows 500,000 tons of discarded materials, feeding dead batteries, spent catalysts, and electronic waste into its processing hoppers. Inside those furnaces, temperatures exceed 1,000 degrees. That extreme heat allows chemical engineers to separate and extract 17 distinct precious and specialty metals from the destroyed debris. This graphic maps extraction efficiency. As a battery breaks down, the facility recovers over 95% of the trapped cobalt, nickel, and copper. Recovered metals reach a purity level, allowing manufacturers to inject them directly into new batteries, closing the loop with zero valuable waste. The circular economy operates far beyond standard consumer recycling. It relies on advanced, large-scale chemical engineering to replace traditional mining entirely. Factory. Zooming out reveals the macroeconomic reality across the entire continent. This map shows the network's financial scale. In 2019, circular economic activities generated 155 billion euros across the European Union. Compare that to the linear approach. Using materials once and throwing them away buries billions of dollars of material wealth in landfills every year. By 2030, materials recovered from end-of-life batteries and factory scrap could cover 25% of the continent's cobalt demand and 16% of its nickel. This shifts the supply chain from unstable global imports to a local, technical process. The urban mine is already a highly profitable, wealth-generating pillar of the economy, rewriting how a continent secures its physical resources. Despite that financial success, this gauge reveals a major bottleneck. In 2023, Europe's actual circularity rate, recycled materials fed back into the economy, sat at just 12%. That outpaces the global average of 7.2%. But to secure its industrial base, the EU has set a target to double that market size to 24% by 2030. Here at the European Commission, lawmakers aren't waiting for corporate goodwill to meet that target. They are deploying strict market regulation. The primary mechanism is the Digital Product Passport, a sweeping piece of legislation scheduled to take effect in July 2026. This law requires physical items to carry a digital identifier. From the moment a product rolls off the assembly line, its exact material composition, origin, and recycling instructions are tracked, legally binding it to a circular life cycle. Because the European Parliament governs a market of 450 million consumers, any manufacturer, regardless of location, must meet these standards to access the market. This turns European technical rules into the global baseline for production. For a continent with almost no remaining natural ore, treating industrial waste as a raw material solves a primary economic bottleneck. Europe has inverted its lack of subsoil wealth by recapturing the materials it has already consumed. Securing this infrastructure requires the aggressive fusion of advanced heavy industry and uncompromising legislation that forces the market to adapt. The traditional mine is being phased out, replaced by a permanent industrial loop built on top of the continent's own waste.